Welcome to the East Baton Rouge Parish Library Grab and Go. Today we'll be doing Journal, Imagine, and Zentangle. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing you're gonna get are this instruction packet. You're gonna need a gel pencil and a pen, gel pen, looks like so. And you will get a composition journal and this instruction packet. And there will be a table of contents and all the pages are numbered. Starting on page 3, there will be Zentangle instructions. Starting on page 24, there will be some journal prompts. And starting on page 29, there'll be some creative writing prompts that you can all use to fill in your composition notebook and really make it your own. Have fun with it. All right, so let's get started with the Zentangle. So what I want you to do is tear out all these sheets of all these different patterns that you'll see here. So you're going to tear out your pattern sheets and then set them before you. And I have a bunch of different ones, so you can choose which ones you like best and use those. And then I have these sheets right here where you can add your patterns to each square, and each individual shape has a different pattern. So you can either draw these designs within your composition notebook, or you can just start practicing in your instruction packet, which is what I'm going to do today. So let's get started. So I really like this black and white checkered pattern. So I'm going to start that in this square right here. All right, now I'm going to add the checks. I'm going to fill this one in black because I made a mistake. And it's okay if you make little mistakes, because as you start adding the different patterns, you'll notice them less and less. And if you don't like one pattern that you chose, as you start adding the other patterns, ones that you like more, the whole finished composition will, you'll find it much more pleasing to the eye than you thought whenever you did a pattern that you didn't actually end up liking very much. It's very zenful to just color and create. So I hope y'all have fun with this one. And I gave you patterns to choose from, but you can make up your own patterns too. That's also a possibility. If you have any ideas of a pattern that you might want to create on your own. I was thinking of creating some leaf patterns, just making it up as I go for my next square. Alright, so the next square would be this one. No, I'm going to do this one right here. No, this one. I'm going to add some leaves. Do pointy leaves. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Maybe some branches in there. All right, and so you just keep adding these patterns to every square until you finally have something that looks kind of like this. And it's really fun to do, very relaxing. You just be creative with it. I gave you some sample patterns. Of course, you can create your own, or you can use these, whichever one draws your interest the most. You could even start drawing more complicated, you know, shapes and Zentangle patterns that you could fill in and get more advanced with it. So the next thing we're gonna do with our composition notebook is journal prompts. So on page 24, starts giving you some ideas for journal prompts. You can start journaling. For example, this one is 50 journal prompts for a new you. And the first one says, what does your dream life look like? You can just something to think about as you start writing in your journal. This one is 25 self-love journal prompts. And the first one is, what are 10 things you are really good at? And that's just something that, something to think about, something to write about, so that you need to, something to remind yourself what you're good at. And then let's see, 31 journal prompts for personal growth. The first one here is, what do I need more of in my life? And something good to think about also. This one is 70 journal prompts for self-discovery. And the first one, where do I see myself in 6 months, a year, 5 years? You can kind of plan where your life is going, where you want it to go, where you see it heading, what your goals are. And then this one is 30 days of gratitude. And one example is a person I'm glad to have in my life. And you can write about that person and why you're so glad that they're in your life. And, just remind yourself of the things that you're thankful for. And then the next thing that you could do in your notebook is on page 29, we start the writing prompts. So this is daily creative writing prompts. An example of one of these is you can write a short story about what happens when your town digs up a time capsule from 1950. So what would happen if your town did that? And what do you know about 1950 and what would that look like? Let's see, this one is creative writing prompts for teens and tweens. But I thought some of these were really good for 20-somethings as well. Do you act differently online than in real life? I think a lot of us kind of do, or maybe they don't, Something to think about, write about. I think there's something you could write about there. Creative writing topics. One of these would be, if you could meet any person alive today, who would it be and why? Kind of a good way to get you writing and get your creative juices flowing. And then this one is write your personal history. An example of this is write about your name. Where did it come from? What does it mean? Why did your parents name you this? Where did this name originate? What's the meaning behind it for your family, for, etymologically? Those are some kind of fun things to write about your personal history. And then here's idea writing prompts. So an example would be, what would you do if you could go anywhere in the world at any point in time, but you could only stay there for 5 minutes? What would you do? That's a fun one. And then this one is a story starter sentences. Suddenly, icy fingers grabbed my arm as I inched through the darkness. And then you continue writing the story from there. Or you include that sentence in the story and you build a story around it. So that's pretty fun. This one is creative writing prompts for adults. An example of this is, what was your best year ever so far in your life? Give a timeline of events and describe everything that made it so spectacular. So that's a good one. And then this one is creativity collection. 20 more writing prompts to ignite your imagination. And it says here, I like this quote, inspiration is a fickle and flighty creature. If you allow it to be, take control and show inspiration that you are its master, not its slave. So an example of one of these is a dialogue prompt. I kept my promise right until the day I died. Can you say the same? So whenever you see this quote, who's speaking, and you want to tell their story. So that's a good writing prompt right there. And then here's another creativity collection sample. 20 writing prompts to spark your inspiration. So here's a music prompt. They give you this song right here, Diabolic Clockwork by Two Steps from Hell, or you could choose any song that you want. So they tell you to put on your headphones, close your eyes, and turn up the volume as you listen to this piece. What images form in your mind as the music goes on? What mood does it evoke? What drama could it play alongside? That's a good, writing idea to get your creative writing juices flowing. I liked that one. So last but not least, 8 rules for writing books. So we have NaNoWriMo in November, and we also have databases that teach you that you can archive your writing in, and you can create your own books and just ask your librarian about those. So 8 rules for writing books. So write 50 words, that's a paragraph. Write 400 words, that's a page. Write 300 pages, that's a manuscript. Write every day, that's a habit. Edit and rewrite, that's how you get better. Spread your writing for people to comment, that's called feedback. Don't worry about rejection or publication, that's a writer. When not writing, read. Read from writers better than you. Read and perceive. All right, we hope you like this programming sample, and we hope that you come and check it out. Thank you.